Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of RomanV21 Cooks. Today I'm going to be making my spin on Rick Bayless's fire roasted tomato salsa from his TV show Mexico One Plate at a Time. I saw this recipe a while ago and decided to try it, and I've been improving it ever since. We're going to start with 4 cloves of garlic and 2 medium-sized jalapenos. Put those in a non-stick skillet for 5 to 10 minutes. And flipping them regularly, because we don't want them to get too brown on one side and we want them to cook them evenly. When you cook them in the skillet, it really brings out the flavor in the jalapenos and the garlic, and it makes them much easier to handle later. After we cook them, we're going to transfer the contents of the pan onto a cutting board fitted with a paper towel. We have the paper towel on here because we're going to pat them dry here to get any excess oil or anything off them that we don't want in the mixture that will make it too greasy or soggy, because that's the last thing that you'd want. After you're done with that, make sure you get all the grease off, and then just get rid of the paper towel and put everything on the cutting board. After we do that, we're just gonna take off all of the stems and anything at the end that we don't want on that. We're gonna do that for both jalapenos. After that's done, we're gonna kind of cut right down the center long ways of the jalapeno and make 2 halves, almost like you would for a jalapeno popper or another food related to that. Then once you have both of those slices, try to go along the bottom edge of the jalapeno and just scoop out with the knife all of those seeds that we don't want in there. The seeds are what make it really spicy, and the outside is already spicy enough, so we don't want any more of that heat. Trust me, I learned the hard way. Now, after you've done that, scrape off all of the seeds left over on the cutting board and cut the jalapenos into thin slices, almost like you would see for green peppers on a pizza. Rinse and repeat with the remaining jalapenos, and make sure that they're all a somewhat equal size. They don't have to be exact. Next, we're going to grab a small bowl and just deposit all of the jalapenos right in there and put them aside until we need them. After that, we're going to peel our garlic, which is one of the hardest tasks in the kitchen, but after we roasted these in the pan quickly, it's going to make it much easier. You basically just slice the hairy end of the garlic with a knife and just get your finger around the edge, and the rest of the skin should come right off. You're going to also just smash those with the back of the knife to release some of the allicin, which is the good garlic juice. Make sure to do that for all of the cloves, except for the smaller ones. With those, you don't really need to smash them. And after that, you're going to get out your biggest food processor, and then you're also going to watch me fumble with it and try to figure out how to get it strapped in and tightened correctly, because I can never do this first try. After you finally get it done, you're going to get out a can of diced and fire roasted tomatoes. Now, it's very important that you get those because that's what gets the fire roasted in the recipe. You're going to pop in your can opener and just screw that around a few times until the can is open. After you remove the lid and get the tomatoes exposed, you're just going to dump the whole thing evenly around the food processor container and try to scrape it around so it's mostly even. Scrape around with a knife, or sometimes the can works too. Once you have the tomatoes in there, you're gonna drop the jalapenos and garlic atop the tomatoes in the food processor container. It's gonna look like a lot for the food processor, and it is, but it's gonna get it done. After that, you're just gonna grind some salt in there, not too much, because I think salt is better when it's not processed. And then a few squirts of lime juice. If you want to be exact, it's probably a few tablespoons, 1 or 2. Now you're gonna screw on the lid to the food processor and make sure it's plugged in. And then pulse chop a few times, and then as well as puree a few times, just to get it to the consistency that you like. Listen to that baby roar. Once you're done and you've reached a consistency that looks appealing to you, unplug the food processor and get a big whiff of the fruits of your labor. You worked hard for this. Then you're just gonna grab a bowl of your choice and pour the salsa right into it. Now you're gonna grab a bag of your favorite chips and try your salsa. Mine ended up literally being perfect. I didn't need to add anything else, but you might need to add some salt or some more lime juice depending on what your taste is, because when it comes to this salsa, it really depends on who's having it and who's making it. So that will be it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching, everyone, and let me know in the comments what to make next week. I was thinking soft pretzels, but I really want this series to be up to the viewers. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you next week. Bye.